Just as over 200 years ago our forefathers endured and died at Valley Forge for the principles of a limited government that protected freedom and individual liberty, today we Republicans must renew that fight for a return to those fundamental principles. I was born in the Woodside Projects and raised in New York City. Dad was a teacher, a school teacher, and early on he instilled in me and my brothers and sisters the importance of education as a building block and as the great equalizer in society. I was very fortunate. I received a scholarship to college, to the University of Pennsylvania, and I came to Pennsylvania to attend the university as a freshman. And going to Penn really changed my life. In my sophomore year, I met my shipmate, Stephanie, and we got married after we finished college, and for the last 34 years she's been my best friend and my wife and the mother of our 3 children. I received a master's degree from across the river at Princeton Theological Seminary. After graduation, I began a professional career that encompassed many different work experiences and even took some seemingly unconnected turns. My first job was in Alabama at a small black college as the college chaplain. And there I counseled students, I advised them, and I also taught a course in comparative religions. My next experience took me to Indiana as a campus minister for several small colleges, including the local branches of Indiana University and Purdue University. And there I was first exposed to practical politics. I volunteered to help the Republican candidate for the U.S. House, Dan Coates, who later became a U.S. Senator. Following the campaign, I was offered a position as Assistant State Director in the office of U.S. Senator Dan Quayle. Later, I was recruited by the Marion County Republican Committee to run in an overwhelming Democrat seat in Indianapolis against an 18-year incumbent.
We've tried to make a difference in Indianapolis. We've articulated new ideas by showing people how to help themselves, by demonstrating the right role for government. Are we going to win? In many ways, we already have.
Shortly after that campaign, I returned to Pennsylvania as assistant to the president of Penn. And it was a great opportunity indeed to come back and to serve, to advise students, to advocate on their behalf, and to likewise advise the president of this great Pennsylvania institution. But when George Herbert Walker Bush tapped my old boss, Dan Quayle, as his running mate, I took a leave from Penn to work in the president's campaign. Following the election, I served on the presidential transition team and later in the White House for 2.5 years as Associate Director of Public Liaison. I left the White House and returned to Pennsylvania to begin a business career, first opening a small public relations firm and then later as a founding member of an asset management firm that eventually managed over $3 billion. Finally, joining a government relations group called Hill Solutions that advocated for the needs of small business clients. In 1998, when a former classmate called and asked if I would help a church in North Philadelphia that needed a pastor and an advocate to keep it open, I agreed. And today, in conjunction with my business career, I continue to serve as the pastor of that church. My flock has all the needs that any flock has. People get sick. They need prayer. They need help with their marriages. They need help in their job life. Some of them aren't employed. Some people don't have a place to live. Some of my members are homeless. They don't have a place to live. And every week it's a struggle to figure out how we're going to help them make it through the next week. Throughout my career, I've been called upon by various media outlets as a commentator. It's about our kids, protecting our kids and making sure that they have the kind of environment that we would like to see them have. Indecency on TV has to be really curtailed. He will be a fair and impartial interpreter of the law, somebody who will strictly interpret the Constitution of the United States and be impartial and not try to legislate from the bench. Well, I think it was a very timely speech, very, very well done. And you know, the truth of the matter is, Anderson, that great leaders don't rule by poll. They aren't concerned so much with the polls. They're concerned with doing what they've been elected by the American people to do, which is to lead. Most African American people are very much in tune with what's happening in the media, and likewise, many African Americans are more centered, more conservative than our leadership. So I guess as a campus minister, as a staffer for a U.S. Senator, as an assistant to the president of a great Pennsylvania university, as an assistant at the White House, as a small businessman and business owner, as a media commentator, as a pastor of a church, I guess the common thread running through my career has been that of an advocate for people, for groups, for our Republican president's policies, for our party's principles.
I'm Joe Watkins from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
The Lieutenant Governor, as we all know, presides over the state senate and also heads up emergency management for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. But the Lieutenant Governor's job is more than that. It's really what the person makes it. And it's an opportunity to, of course, work alongside of a great governor. But it's also a chance to be an advocate in the creation of new jobs, to be an advocate for small businesses, to be an advocate for young people. Small businesses need to be our top priority because small business is the engine that creates the jobs. And I know this because, not just because my wife was the regional administrator for the Small Business Administration, but also because I've been a small business owner and I know what it is. I know the challenges that small business owners face, and make sure that we have the kind of strong environment that's low in regulation and that's low in taxes that allows them to not only survive but thrive, more importantly, because if they thrive, they're going to create new jobs, and those jobs are going to hire our people in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. For me, being Lieutenant Governor is a great opportunity also to be an advocate for our seniors. And don't they deserve it? I mean, after all, look at what they've given to this great country to help make this country the country that it is. You know, the greatest generation took care of us, and now it's time for us to take care of the greatest generation. It's our turn to step up to the plate. I think that every child in the state of Pennsylvania ought to have the same opportunity that I had, because it's such an important building block for success in our society. And as Lieutenant Governor, I want to make sure that every single taxpayer dollar is wisely spent so that our young people can get the education they both need and deserve. And that means making sure that those dollars are spent wisely and not wasted on bureaucracy. And that our teachers likewise are doing their job, that our teachers are teaching our young people, that they see it not just as a job, but really as their chance to make a difference in somebody else's life. Everything that I've done so far in my career has really prepared me for this moment. Together, we can make this happen. And I'd like to be part of this effort over the next 12 months. That's why I'm asking for your support for the Republican nomination for Lieutenant Governor. Thank you so much for watching this video. I look forward to seeing you soon in person.